Bill Richardson, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, who met with Kim Jong-il's father, or I should say Kim Jong Un's father, Kim Jong-il. Good to see you, Ambassador.
Thank you, Shep.
We're not warring. That's great. Aside from that, what do you think?
Well, I'm troubled by the concessions. One, the military exercises. You know, the North Koreans, I've negotiated with them. They always want you to go first. And then they say, well, then we'll step aside. And then they don't do anything. That worries me. The security guarantee basically saying to Kim Jong Un, we're not going to try to knock you off. We're not going to have regime change. But, you know, I will say I've been involved with this issue a long time. And it's always been missile tests, nuclear detonations, threats, enormous tension in South Korea and Japan. You know, we got a lot of troops there. You know, at least there's a process of diplomacy going on. There's a process of normalization going on, the diffusion of some tension in the peninsula. But I do think Kim Jong Un, he gave up nothing. And what we need to do, I think, is follow through with major steps, immediate momentum, get Pompeo to meet with him, set up working groups on denuclearization, on missile tests, on human rights. I wish we had raised human rights more strongly. We just kind of mentioned it. I am pleased, Shep. I mean, I've been a very strong advocate of getting the remains of our soldiers back. I brought 7 back during the Bush administration. You know, there's 5,000. There are a lot of families that want those remains back. I think that's a possible area of cooperation that the president mentioned and that maybe Kim Jong Un is going to restart with the president.
Yeah.
But, you know, very short on specifics, on substance, on follow-through, on timelines, on verification.
From the people we talk to who are in the know about North Korea, Sumi Terry, Gordon Chang, people like this, what we've been hearing for years now, Governor, Ambassador, is that his regime is shaky because his people don't have any food and because so many people's families are locked up in gulags all over the country. And at some point, his regime is going to get really shaky. The last thing he needs is a pick-me-up, like a photo opportunity with the leader of the free world. Well, he just got it. How big a help is that really for him? Or was all of that talk just talk?
Well, it does help him, even though there are no elections there. It solidifies him. It puts him on the par with the President of the United States, with his own people. But I think a good potential trade-off to deal with the gulags, with the human rights abuses, is say to Kim Jong Un, who wants American investment, he wants help with his infrastructure, his energy grid. It's one of the poorest nations on earth. No private sector, farming in the 1930s, their equipment there, where you say to him, look, if you want American technology investment, you got to deal with your human rights issues. You got to deal with your gulags. I think that is a trade-off that we use with other countries, Shep. You know, foreign assistance is conditioned on human rights performance by other countries. We should apply that to them.
How the Chinese feeling about now?
Well, they're probably pretty happy.
Yeah, I guess they are.
Because I don't think they wanted a tighter commitment and relationships. You know, they like to cause trouble and turmoil for us. The worry I have is that the Chinese are going to loosen sanctions. To their credit, they did put maximum pressure on sanctions on the smuggling. You know, 80% of all commerce from North Korea goes through China. So they have leverage, but they're probably smiling because maybe the status quo that they like, the turmoil, is right now in the short run, without commitments from the North Koreans, is here to stay.
Got to go. In the main, good day, bad day, don't know yet. Which is it?
Well, I think it's a good day inching towards a bad day unless we get some commitments and timelines and verification.
Sounds like every other day.
So I think Pompeo needs to move in real quick, like next week. Don't wait. Take, you know, the momentum from this positive issue of moving closer, the way that the countries are moving at least closer, the diffusion of tension. Seize on that momentum to get some commitments. Otherwise, you know, this is going to go by the wayside.
He's a talented man. His nation loves him.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, his nation is afraid of him. His nation is scared. I think his nation wants an opportunity, like all people, to get out of the doldrums. And maybe they see a spark in America being helpful. Who knows? Or South Korea being helpful. These are people that need help, and they need the international community to help them get out of poverty and hunger and human rights abuses.
Ambassador Bill Richardson, thank you so much.
Thank you.